But we don't have Papa John's. Are we lying?
We do.
We do have Papa John's.
Oh, Papa John's is here.
One of these.
Alright, we should just redo that whole thing.
1, 2, 3. All right. So what do we have here? I see 6 slices of za.
Tell us about Bitcoin Pizza Day.
Bitcoin Pizza Day happened in 2010. I don't remember who did it or where he did it. I believe it was an American guy.
Yeah.
And it was kind of unofficially known as the first transaction legally, should note, made with Bitcoin to purchase or real goods. And the individual bought 2 large pizzas, I believe.
Not 10,000 pizzas.
Not 10,000 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin, which at the time was probably worth about nothing, and he thought he was getting the deal of the century. Now that is worth a lot.
Yeah.
But this happened in 2010. What were you doing in 2010?
2010, first of all, I should have been buying Bitcoin. That was the first mistake. 2010, when I should have been buying Bitcoin, I was probably, playing Call of Duty with my friends.
Right.
If I had to guess, probably not yourself.
You were in high school? You don't have to
Uh,
age yourself, I guess.
yeah, maybe. I
Were
don't know.
you in the working world yet?
No.
No.
No. Neither were you.
No, I know. Where were you?
In a basement. Just dox myself. Don't put that one in there.
His address is. Bleep that out.
My social security number. Just a reminder for all the kind guests out here.
The millions and millions
The
watching.
millions watching at home. We're gonna be trying pizzas, and we're gonna be trying to guess which one is the original Bitcoin pizza, which is yours truly.
Papa John's.
If it's not pizza,
No.
it's not Papa John's.
Papa John's? Papa John's.
Ba 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 ba. Right?
I'm loving it.
Papa John's.
Papa John's.
All right.
Get some Nduja on that guy?
Ooh, you want sauce?
Well, I don't know. Maybe just a
A
little.
little bit of sauce. I'm gonna go without sauce.
You can go. Okay.
Do you fold? Wait,
It's
so
got 0 flop.
do you go for the fold or are you not folding?
I don't fold. No.
No fold?
Unless it's got New York style flop.
White, know the rules.
Everyone, yeah, one bite. Everyone knows the rules.
It's called the money shot. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is pretty cold pizza. First of all, that's an 8.6 right off the bat. That's easy money.
It's got some good sauce.
Yeah, very good sauce. The cheese to sauce ratio is
How
incredible.
do you think the crust is? What do you think the crust?
I haven't been there yet. That is not Papa John's, unfortunately.
No?
No.
How many do you go to Papa John's often?
Less so now
Mm-hmm.
than I did probably 10 years ago.
Okay.
Used to be a big PJ fans though.
PJ. Yeah. Going in for number 2?
Yeah, what kind of
Which one do you want? Bigger boy?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll go over
Big,
here.
big lad like you.
Ooh, I like this one's already a little more structure
More
to this
floppy? Less microwavy?
one. More structure.
Oh my god.
Mm.
Chicago would just be having a field day with this. Are you kidding me? They're pretty good.
Which one do you think you prefer?
That one's definitely better.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I might be a number 1 guy. Or
I'm
number 3.
fairly confident that is Domino's and that's Papa J's. Not the second, but give me the third guy.
They're all passing
This
over.
looks
A
artisanal.
little bit Neapolitan style.
This looks
here.
artisanal.
Ooh.
This screams. Oh, we got garlic too. Garlic.
Some truffle
I
sauce.
put garlic on everything. Oh my god, are you kidding?
Wow. That was fantastic.
Wow. That's from the good folks at Pizza Pilgrims. They are doing the Lord's work over there. You go in the back, Mikey's in the back, just all day on the prosciutto. It is unbelievable. I don't know what
Fantastic.
that guy does. So we got clearly Pizza Pilgrims, Papa John's, and Domino's. Which one's which? I say 1 is Pizza Pilgrims, 2
Yes.
is Domino's, and 3 Papa J's. Which was my least favorite out of the 3.
I thought 3 was gonna be Domino's, to be honest. I haven't had many Domino's pies, but
I'm all low carb
If I recall correctly, I think that's what they look like.
3 is Papa J's. He's saying 2 is Papa J's.
I think 2 is Papa John's. I think 3 is Domino's.
Which one would you trade 10,000 Bitcoin for in 2010?
Pizza Pilgrims. Without a doubt. Maybe 20,000 if I had it laying around.
Okay, buddy, man.
I thought you were the guy.
Yeah.
Don't put that out there.
Oh, God.
3 is Papa John's Pizza.
Yes! That's what I said, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Cool down.
Next year, next Bitcoin Pizza Day, what do you think Bitcoin's price will be?
Next Bitcoin Pizza Day.
155,000.
155. I'll put out an optimistic 170.
Interesting. Why?
As Paul Revere said, the institutions are coming. The institutions are coming.
So dumb.
But I think, just the other day, Jamie Dimon said that, they were going to allow all of their client base to invest in digital assets.
Yeah.
I know there's still a lot of places where you can't gain access to even the crypto ETFs that exist.
Yeah.
So the more, getting into the ETFs is quite easier for people, like in their retirement accounts, for all the endowments, slowly start allocating even 0.1 or 0.2, 0.5% of the endowments to the Bitcoin ETFs. I think that is going to cause a lot of exponential growth over probably the next year and a half, 2 years. 1,000 Bitcoin, what would you do? What's the first thing?
Bitcoin. I would post as collateral, borrow dollars against it, and probably never work another day in my life. I would go to the Maldives.
Ooh,
Have you been?
I have not.
I would probably travel the world and first stop Maldives, get one of those over the water bungalow hut where you have a little slide and you can swoosh right in. Probably do one of those. Those look pretty cool.
Stay in one or buy one?
Probably buy one.
Probably buy
Why
one.
not? Maybe buy some prop. I don't know. Don't buy a boat. That never works. What would you do?
Well, if I had 1,000 Bitcoin, first thing I would do is custody with blockchain.com.
Genius.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's cheeky.
If I had 1,000 Bitcoin, maybe the first thing I would do is probably buy a compound of houses and move all my family and all my
you'd sell
friends
your
there.
Bitcoin?
Maybe 1 or 2 or 3.
Where's this compound going? In
Compound
Des Moines,
houses.
Iowa? 1 or 2 Bitcoin for a compound of houses.
Maybe I'd sell a few.
Sell a few.
Sell a
Okay.
few. But, I'm a big family guy.
Would you change your lifestyle?
Probably not. Probably not too much.
Are you kidding?
I enjoy working.
Would you still have a job?
Oh yeah, probably.
You'd still work.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Maybe the part of work would probably change.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe I'd do something a little more exploratory.
Right.
Probably a lot of my time would be around managing the money itself.
Yeah.
This is quite a boring conversation. With
Do you think that ETFs is a good thing?
I think it's absolutely a good thing. I think while crypto itself is, out of a place of decentralization, I don't think society is there yet. And so the bridge to a centralized mechanism via the ETFs encourages so much more people to actually get involved in the space, or at least to start learning and dabbling in the space. And, the people who might invest in the ETF now might invest in physical Bitcoin later on in the future.
Would they?
Maybe.
Like once you put the Bitcoins in the box and package it up as an ETF, who was opening that box and being like, oh, let's actually use this for collateral on Uniswap or, blah, 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 whatever utility that might exist. But I do think, and I'm all for the ETFs, and I think it's good and, gets institutions in and gets kind of that mass adoption and has crazy buying demand from it. But there is a little worry that it kind of deviates from the initial thesis of crypto and of Bitcoin. a bit, which could be fine. It could just totally alter what Bitcoin or crypto is in the future state. I think it's not, and this is maybe controversial, but I think one of the biggest things that comes out of crypto are like stable coins.
Mm-hmm.
I think that could be like the most innovative thing that comes out of crypto. You think about how difficult it is dealing with banks and the fiat system and sending money around and wires. Like it's so outdated and so it's a cool shirt. So outdated, and the idea of things living on chain and being able to send around on something that's pegged to the dollar like actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are using, stable coins in hyperinflationary environments like South Africa, and I know Africa and South America. I think are
the country of Africa,
continent of Africa.
But it's like it's funny when you talk to even our coworkers that work in Argentina, like going down there and going out to dinner and seeing how they live and how they have a blue chip rate and a government rate, just like withdrawal currency. Like it's not that hard to convince them of what crypto does and why stablecoins are important. It's like a little harder convincing my friends who live in New York when the only reason they're buying it is for like speculative reasons. Where when it becomes a necessary mode of wealth or monetary part of your monetary system, it has like a lot more value to it, I think.
Just simply around Bitcoin adoption and why we think Bitcoin adoption is escalating or much more rapid than other cryptos.
Yeah, why is Bitcoin 60% of total market cap?
I think this first mover advantage doesn't take away from it at all, but I think the similarity between Bitcoin and gold, as an analogy, has made it quite easy for people to understand. The way that I always explain it to people is Bitcoin is like gold, where Ethereum and Solana may be like technology. And people find it more difficult to understand the value behind, a technological system or blockchain, but people understand the value of gold. You keep it in a bank, you lock it up, and it's always safe and holds its store of value. And so the store of value concept is something that, a lot of people are very familiar with, and I think that's why it enables Bitcoin to be so well understood as a digital currency and maybe takes a power away from the others that might derive its value mechanism from some other type of strategy overall.
Yeah, I mean, I always give or the two best analogies that I've seen are like cell phones and then like emails. So Bitcoin was obviously the first one and has a lot of the same principles and properties of gold. And it's very similar to like a cell phone. Like if one person had a cell phone, it wouldn't be very useful. When there's 100 million people that have a cell phone, the technology of cell phone becomes very interesting and actually useful. And there's this whole network effect. And to get to 100 million cell phones in this example, you need real capital and real capex to get there. And like if you look at all the Bitcoin mining stuff, that's real capital that goes into securing the network and has these rules and principles and 51%, blah, blah, blah. Like it's hard to just spin that up overnight with something else. And I think the reason why Bitcoin has become so favorable versus other currencies is, and this goes to my email example, is Bitcoin is effectively like email, right? Like it is a pretty simple send and receive, hold, similar to how like an Outlook or Gmail operates. I equate Ethereum and Solana and all these other tokens kind of like the rest of the internet. Like you can do a lot crazier, cooler things on these L2s, on these different platforms and dApps and build shit on top of it and all this stuff, which is more complicated and probably has higher upside and higher things to do. But like Outlook is probably, don't quote me because I'm guessing I'm making this up, but it's like used everywhere, right? Like everyone has an email account. Not everyone has a website to whatever, or access to a website. So that's kind of how I equate it. Like there definitely is a first mover advantage, but there is like real capital that has been put into Bitcoin and into that ecosystem that has kind of propelled it and launched it. And I think it'll be tough to see anything surpass that. But